60 years. Just think about that. 60 years have passed since England last lifted the World Cup back in 1966. In that time, humanity walked on the moon. The Soviet Union collapsed. The Berlin Wall came down. The internet reshaped everything we knew. Hundreds of defining moments changed the course of history. And yet, the one moment England has been waiting for still hasn't come. Every tournament began with the same question. Could this be the year? And every single time, the answer was the same: heartbreak. But this time, something feels different. Because what's changed isn't just the squad. What's changed is the mentality. It's no longer about a lack of talent. It's about handling pressure when it matters most. That's why the 2026 World Cup isn't just another tournament for England. This is the story of whether 60 years of waiting finally comes to an end. Team identity. Under Gareth Southgate, England's identity was clear. Defend first, minimize risk, don't make mistakes, wait for your moment. That approach carried England to multiple semi-finals and finals, but something was always missing. That final step, because sometimes focusing on not losing simply isn't enough to actually win. Now, there's a completely different man in charge. Thomas Tuchel doesn't believe in instinct. He believes in systems. He designs the game first, then selects the players who fit that game. That's exactly why some big names were left at home. It was a bold decision, but also a risky one. Tuchel is sending a message to the entire football world. It's not about names, it's about the system. Maybe that's exactly what England has been missing all these years. But there's always a gap between theory and reality. No plan survives the first whistle at a World Cup perfectly intact. So the question is, can Tuchel's system bridge that gap? Let me know what you think in the comments. Strengths. First, strength. Harry Kane. Some strikers score goals. Others shape an entire team's attack. Harry Kane is the second kind. With 79 international goals, Kane is England's all-time leading scorer. In the 2025-26 season, he was virtually unstoppable for Bayern Munich. He scored, he broke records, and he claimed the Bundesliga Golden Boot once again. But what makes Kane special goes beyond the numbers. He drops deep to link play. He creates space for midfielders. He constantly forces defenders into difficult decisions. If there's one player at the center of this system, it's Kane. And perhaps most importantly, England has long been searching for a leader capable of winning a World Cup. Kane is on that stage at exactly the right time, possibly for the last time. Second strength, Tuchel's system. As a tournament progresses, what separates teams isn't individual brilliance, it's organization. What the team plays, how talented players are used, how movements are coordinated, that's precisely where Tuchel is trying to transform England. What we saw against Croatia was the clearest proof of that. Rice shifting left, Kane dropping into midfield, Anderson bursting into space, Bellingham driving forward. None of those were spontaneous decisions. They were scenarios rehearsed hundreds of times on the training ground. In a tournament where fine margins decide everything, that kind of automatic organization can create serious problems for any opponent. If England can maintain this identity and keep building on it, anything is possible. Third strength, width and pace. In modern football, the fastest way to break down a defense is through one-on-ones out wide, and England have two of the most dangerous wide players on the planet. Bukayo Saka on the right, Anthony Gordon on the left. Saka's impact in big games is well established by now. The bigger the pressure, the better he performs. He arrives at this tournament as a Premier League champion, more confident than ever. Gordon comes in at the peak of his career. He had an outstanding season and earned an €80 million move to Barcelona, direct, electric, and clinical in one-on-one situations. If these two find their rhythm, England won't just create chances. They'll dismantle defensive structures entirely. Key players. Some tournaments are won by teams. Others are decided by a handful of individuals. Declan Rice. He doesn't make the headlines. He's not the most talked about name on social media, But he is the backbone of this team. Rice protects the defense, triggers the press, and controls how the ball moves out from the back. The foundation of Tuchel's system runs directly through Declan Rice. That's why one moment against Croatia worried everyone. Rice coming off in the 72nd minute. And the hamstring concern that followed. Because some players have replacements, some don't. Rice is the engine of this midfield, the brain of this team. His fitness may be the single most important variable of England's entire tournament. Jude Bellingham. He's just 22 years old, and yet he's already playing in his second World Cup. But Bellingham's story isn't only about talent, it's about the tension between freedom and discipline. Tuchel demands structure. Bellingham is one of those rare players who can change a game purely through force of personality. His role has been debated throughout the season. There were even questions before the Croatia match about whether he'd start. Then he walked onto the pitch and reminded everyone exactly why he's one of the most special midfielders in world football. He scored. He controlled the game. He took responsibility. If Tuchel and Bellingham can find the right balance together, England's ceiling rises to a completely different level. Morgan Rogers, the X Factor. Most of the football world is watching Kane. Some are tracking Bellingham. Opposing defenses are focused on stopping Saka, and right at that moment, Rogers quietly finds the space. He arrives at this tournament on the back of an exceptional season at Aston Villa, full of confidence. And he fits naturally into exactly the kind of football Tuchel wants to play. Sometimes World Cups are won by superstars. And sometimes a player nobody expected steps into the spotlight and changes everything. For England, that player could be Morgan Rogers. Weaknesses and risks. No tournament favorite is perfect. England have vulnerabilities too. First problem. The left side of the defense against Croatia. This area gave cause for concern more than once. Opponents found room, won their duels, and exposed what could be England's most attackable zone. And this isn't just about one game. As the tournament goes deeper, the quality of opposition rises sharply. Teams like Argentina, Portugal, or Brazil don't forgive those kinds of gaps. A single moment of positional error can end months of preparation. Tuchel must find a specific solution for this area before it costs them. Second problem, the absence of individual genius. Tuchel chose order, and some brilliant players paid the price for that choice. No Foden, no Palmer, no Alexander-Arnold. In return, he got a more organized, more disciplined, more predictable squad. But every choice has a cost. This England team has fewer moments of individual magic. In past tournaments, when things went wrong, one player could pick up the ball and single-handedly turn a match around. One shot, one unexpected pass, one moment of brilliance. Sometimes that's all a tournament comes down to. If Tuchel's system works perfectly, England can win this. But what if it doesn't? Nobody has that answer yet. Tournament scenario and prediction. So after everything, what kind of tournament lies ahead for England? England are placed in Group L alongside Croatia, Ghana, and Panama. On paper, these are manageable opponents. Progressing from the group won't surprise anyone. But the real story begins in the knockout rounds. Looking at the bracket, the path isn't completely blocked. With France and Spain likely on the opposite side of the draw, England could have a relatively clear route to the semifinals. But one name looms over every scenario. Argentina. If things go as expected, England's road to the trophy will almost certainly run through the world champions, and the fate of this team rests on two players, Rice and Bellingham. If Rice stays fit, England can control games. If Bellingham delivers a consistent tournament, he provides the match-winning quality when it matters most. If both conditions are met, the final is not a dream. But World Cups are lost in the details. One injury, one bad day, one moment of poor judgment, and even the favorites can find themselves on an early flight home. My prediction is clear. England reach the semifinals. A final is a genuine possibility. The title is within reach, but nothing is guaranteed. And finally, penalties. In English football, certain words make supporters' hearts stop. The heaviest of all? Penalties. For years, hope has died in those moments. Dreams have fallen apart. The trauma has built across generations. Southgate tried to break that curse. Sometimes he succeeded, sometimes he didn't. Now, it's Tuchel's turn. Because if this team walks to that spot one night, they won't just be carrying a football match on their shoulders. They'll be carrying 60 years of waiting. That's why England have arguably the most compelling story at this World Cup. Because this time, it's not just about talent. England have always had talent. This time, it's about belief. From the very first day Tuchel took charge, he has said one thing consistently: we are here to win. And perhaps for the first time in a very long time, people in England actually believe it. Tuchel has reached almost every summit club football has to offer. He's won leagues. He's lifted trophies. He's conquered European football's biggest stage. But one thing is still missing from his story: winning a World Cup with a national team. And sometimes, the greatest motivation a person can have is filling the last empty chapter of their story. So, the question is this: is England really the team that ends 60 years of hurt? Or will this be yet another summer that starts with hope and ends in heartbreak? We'll have our answer in the coming weeks. But one thing is certain: if England are ever going to lift that trophy, it will be very hard to find a better chance than this. What do you think? Can England actually do it this time? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.